Hi, Vincent Hall, and welcome to another episode of our Featured Artist series. This week, we're going to learn more about the artistic endeavors of Mrs. Mary Lou Cummings. Mary Lou joined our beginning painting class a few years back and has really taken off with her ability to mix color, experiment with line and different shadows and tones, as you'll see from some of her work. She's also a fellow native Yankee like me, so I hope you enjoy hearing more about her life and her accomplishments, where she's been, and some of the fun things she's enjoyed while we've all been on lockdown. Without further wait, Mrs. Mary Lou Cummings. Thank you so much, Mary Lou, for being our featured artist this week.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, but you're going to take the lead, Mel.
I will certainly try anyway. I'm so
Okay.
glad you're back. I'm sure maybe it's mixed blessings, but
It's good to be back. It's good to see friendly faces and be in your old digs again.
oh
So
yeah.
I'm happy to be back. It was time.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. COVID and all. It was,
Yeah.
it was time to get back. So,
Oh. Well,
yeah.
we're glad you're back, and hopefully we'll hear in a little bit about some of the inspiration you find in Vermont. But first, I thought you might share with all of us a little more about you.
Oh, okay. I we raised my husband and I raised our family. We had 6 children. We raised our family in McLean, so this is home for my children, and I guess it always will be. I have 3 of them still living here, and one in Boston, one in New York, and one in Denver. So I get to do a little bit of traveling besides Vermont. I'm happy to be at Vincent Hall. It's worked out really well for me, and I've enjoyed all the people and all the activities and the uh, comradeship, and yeah, so
Oh,
it's been good. I My husband died in 2001, and I lived in Vermont until 2014. And it was interesting, but my children were concerned that the winters would be too much for me, so they encouraged me to come back to Washington, to Virginia for at least for the winter,
mm.
and which I did, and I'm happy I picked Vincent Hall. It's worked out really well. So,
Oh,
yeah, so, and I don't have to shovel snow. I don't. And there was a lot of that, and
I bet.
right, and just the deal with that bitter cold in the winters. Not to have to deal with it is wonderful. So, yeah, this is the tropics compared to northern Vermont.
I bet.
Yeah, right,
Wow. Well, your
right.
kids, I was going to say your kids are a rarity that they're native Northern Virginians. Almost everyone's a transplant here.
Yes. They went to school here, UVA, Langley, Virginia Tech. So they're really Virginians, which is interesting.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
where
that
did you come from? Are you a
I
native Virginian?
no. My husband and I both grew up in New York City, as a matter of fact,
Oh,
and Jim was uh, Navy, and he resigned his commission to go into the FBI, and so he was FBI. And then when we moved were assigned to Washington way back in '73. I were in the kids started into school. I worked at the CIA, so for 20 years. Part was part time, and then the last years were full time. So interesting. Loved the work. Loved the agency, and really, and the people were great. So I have it was fun. It was
Oh.
a great job. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yes.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good. Did any of
right.
your children follow you and your husband into government or military service?
No, none of them.
Oh,
I had one that did was a Marine, but not career. And but none of them are career. And it's interesting. None of them are career government employees. So yeah,
oh,
they're two of the girls are teaching. The boys are all into tech uh, uh, stuff. So one of the guys is a builder. So he's the odd man out with this group.
oh,
So,
well,
but
that's one.
it's very helpful.
But
Right.
I would say that's probably
Yes.
very demanding
Yes.
for right.
Yes. It really is.
Wow.
And especially with the house in Vermont. That's who I
Oh,
call. Hey,
oh,
Tim. Yeah, right.
yeah.
Right.
Tell us a little
So,
more about this house in Vermont. I mean, I know
yeah,
friends love it when you talk about it, so I thought you'd share
right, right.
about the history.
No, it's Jim and I bought. Well, we had been going up there since we were married and staying with Grandma and Grandpa, my in-laws, and we outgrew the in-laws' place
Hmm.
and bought a place on the lake. So it's an older house and it needs work constantly of some sort. But it's been great fun, and the kids love it, and they all try to get up for the summer, for part of the summer, and some of them use it in the winter for skiing in Boston, New York.
Oh, okay.
Great. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's a great place and
Mhm.
lots of fun, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, with the grandkids, and they enjoy it.
it sounds heavenly. Do you all stay in the same house, or have they?
No, we have my daughter has a house too, so and then my in-laws still own their house, so we can spread out a little bit if
Oh,
we
that's nice.
yeah, yeah, which is nice. Yeah.
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 Wow, that must make for fun gatherings. So,
It is. I think the grandkids love getting together in the summer and,
hmm.
with all that craziness and but they really like it. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
and, yeah. So, we had you'll love this, Mel, we had 4 dogs this summer.
heaven.
Yeah, at various times, yeah, there was, uh, an older, mixed breed dog, my daughter's dog, and a golden, and a fuzzy fuzzy doodle of some kind, a little guy, and then
Uh-huh.
the terror of the gang is a one-year-old German short-haired pointer
Oh, okay. Yeah.
who just runs
I was gonna say they're
constantly.
high energy.
Right, yes, they
Right.
really are.
Wow.
They really are.
So it sounds like Vermont really has inspired some of your artwork in the art center since you started painting.
And right, they have, a lot of people who, every town, it seems like, has a little art gallery, and that show local talent.
Oh,
And during this summer, they have a lot of plein air get-togethers, and exhibits. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
well,
it's
that's
fun
fun.
to look at, all the different artwork from these local towns that
Hmm.
take advantage of the beautiful scenery. So
Oh,
I didn't this summer, but it was uh, some of the work is really lovely. So
mm.
yeah,
Did they even have that this summer with the virus issues?
they did. In other words, they did. They'll take a weekend, and of course, the artists are all over the place, but they're
Oh,
outside painting. and then they bring it together. And if you wore a mask and social distance, then they'd spread out the pictures in a gallery or some setting,
Sure.
uh,
Yeah.
in town. So
Oh.
yeah, so it's interesting. It's fun. I should have a lot of artwork, a lot
Mm.
of yeah, yeah.
It's a good way to get inspired to see what other people do.
It is. It really is. Yeah, yeah. So and different interpretations of like the lake and you
Hmm.
know so it's fun. Yeah, yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I know you've been inspired by different aspects in your artwork of the lake and things.
Yeah, trying to recreate. It's oh, I guess Mel, you had us doing. We worked on flowing water
Yeah.
down a stream, and
Hmm.
trying to paint that is not easy, or it wasn't easy for me.
It's not easy for anyone.
I struggled with that, but and still am, but
Oh,
it's fun.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, maybe we can take a look at your artwork, including that stream, and you can share with everyone some of your ideas as we go through.
right, right. Okay.
Here's the first one that's in the queue. I thought maybe you could share some of your.
Yeah, this wasn't Vermont. This was a picture we pulled up in an art class that
Mhm.
I thought was interesting. And I saw one similar, except the trees were definitely maple trees, and they all had buckets on them for collecting the maple syrup or the sap. So, but as I said, this is not Vermont, so there are no sap buckets hanging on the
Oh,
trees. But it was, but that's the kind of this is the kind of weather it is when they're mapling, when it's
oh,
goes up to 40, 45 during the day and then down below freezing at night.
mm,
That's when the sap runs, and that's usually in March, sometimes as early as late February, but usually in March and April when they do the mapling. It just reminded me of that. So yeah, so that was what I guess what were we doing, Mel?
uh,
Shadows on
shadow,
the
like
paint?
cast shadows. Yeah, like a low light horizon line, which would be indicative of late winter type things. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that again, getting that feeling of shadows is not easy, but you always feel like you could go back and adjust this and adjust
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I like it.
Ah,
I like how some of the snow has that bluish reflection from the sky because that's what snow would do. And I back
yeah,
in here where it's a little more subtle, but then you have those bright whites as well. I mean, I think it
yeah.
beautifully captures like blown snow and
Yeah,
shadows.
right. I mean, the class is, I'm one of the beginners, and obviously, but the class is wonderful. It's relaxing and interesting, and it's really, I'm so glad I started into it. So it really takes your mind away from all the nonsense you worry about, and you go in and just play with paints and try to learn. So
Oh,
it's been a good experience.
I'm glad. That's
Yes.
I'm glad you're part of it.
Right,
Oh, so
right.
now we have the from the outside to the inside.
Okay. It's the pussycat,
Oh,
but the blue cat. Yeah, that was a picture. I guess we were doing light coming in from the wind,
right, one
from the
directional light.
outside
Yeah.
source. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. But it amazes me when you look around at my fellow students,
Mhm.
artist students, how beautiful their pictures are. I don't remember seeing any that I didn't love.
Hmm.
I mean, they put their personalities and their colors and their interpretation. It's terrific. It
And I
really
know
is.
they've said that about your cat draw at all the paintings that you've done too, but especially the interpretation of the fur into the blues, and it's really fun. It's an expressionist painting, but there's the detail of the longish hair. You can tell it kind of almost
Right.
Angora cat. And then the light in here, how dappled it is. That's beautiful.
No, no, no. Yeah, that was, interesting to do. It was, I
That's good.
enjoyed that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this might be one of your first ones.
Yeah, that was our first one.
Mhm.
It was right in the fall, so,
I love
oh,
this bird.
that cardinal.
He's awesome.
Right. Yeah, no, that was fun, and, I'll have to, I guess that's the state bird of Virginia, I
That's
guess.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It, uh, yeah, we had a bunch of people. Everybody did a cardinal, so there was some. It was some interesting looking at all the different interpretations of cardinals. It was fun. Yeah,
That was
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Each one had their own personality, that's for
They
sure.
did. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
and this was a still life that we did, a simple one.
yeah, yeah, it was our first time. This was a while back,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah, and it was the shadowing and the trying to portray the roundness, I guess, of
Mhm.
the light on the pear.
And
Yeah.
Mel was doing, like, just, a few complementary colors, but more monochromatic even than that because it's like the greens, the yellows, yellow-green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. That was good. It was. And Mel was a big help. Uh, yeah,
Well,
direct
thanks.
us to.
Here's one of my favorites. Oh,
Oh, okay. Oh, what a struggle. This was a picture of, I mean, the original scene is a stream that runs through my daughter's property down the hill.
hmm.
And if the green over on the left, there's a path that leads down. So you walk down the hill and come into an opening where this stream is running through. And I'd love to go down there because it's so quiet, and except you can hear the water and
Mhm.
babbling, and the kids stack those rocks. I don't know. You've seen them.
Down, oh, yes, yeah.
It's a Zen thing, or
Right, oh, that's right.
right. So there are a lot of big rocks, but no, I struggle with that, and I still uh, uh, I would like to work some more on running water so I could get it a little more realistic. But it's not a photograph. I know it's my interpretation of
Right, of course.
what it looks like. But it's a wonderful, quiet spot where,
Mhm.
yeah, uh, and um, on that acreage there are a family, a mother and two bears
Oh,
that live. And last summer we saw the mother and the two bears. They'd walk across the lawn about 4 o'clock and explore, and just stay
wow.
away from them. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
year, the one of the it looked like one of the teenagers. He looked like a teenager.
Hmm.
Was every time he was on the lawn a lot, and he'd climb up the tree. And there was my son built a tree house for the kids, very simple, with a ladder that went up to the tree house, and the bear was up there looking around. Then one of their friends, because of COVID,
Oh
just
my God.
came up, and he was distancing himself, so he brought his tent. He was going to sleep outside, and
That's laid plans.
My son-in-law looked out the window, and here's the bear looking in the tent, climbing on top of it.
Oh
So I
my.
don't know. Oh, but he said the heck with the bear, and he slept out there.
Oh,
So I wouldn't have the guts.
not me either. No, no,
No,
no.
no.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
a lot of deer.
Hmm.
And then this was a number of years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, my son and I, it was in the spring, in the early spring, and we walked down the hill to this stream, and the salmon were going upstream, and lake salmon, I think they are, or whatever, were jumping up. And I mean, it was amazing to watch it.
Hmm.
Tiptoed away. You could reach down and just pick up a fish.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, they were, oh, it
What
was,
an experience. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
oh
uh,
my gosh.
yeah,
Wow.
a lot of wildlife.
Are there salmon in this little stream here? No, I guess
In
not.
the spring,
Okay.
they come, well, they go up the stream, lay their eggs or whatever, and
Hmm.
come down to the lake. Think or
Mhm.
they trout. I'm not sure. I'm not a fisherman, so
Either. I
yeah,
wouldn't
I just
know.
yeah. Whether the
Oh.
trout do the same thing. I know there's lake salmon and brook trout and rainbow and brown trout in the lake,
Mm.
and this runs right down to the lake.
Oh, wow.
I don't know which one comes up the lake, but it comes up the stream. But
Right. Something does. So
yeah, exactly, a big fish.
hmm. Okay.
Right.
Oh.
Oh,
Now, had you taken a
uh,
photograph of this scene that we're looking at this painting or did
I did, I did. Um, and
Oh,
I don't know where it is.
no, that's okay. I like your
Use my
interpretation of it. I
camera.
was just saying, I feel like you're really successful in capturing that looking down at rushing water in the spring, where everything's
Right,
moving
right. Yes,
fast. There's
yes.
a lot of movement. I
When
like
yeah, when it rains, it really comes down. If you have a wet spring, it really, and
mm.
when the snow melts, it really rushes down.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure. Oh,
yeah. So,
wow. Then we have, I think this is a work in progress.
it is a work in progress,
Okay.
right? So it's fun. I love red, so I saw
Mm,
this and I thought that would be really fun to. So I've done the tablecloth, or
mhm.
working on the tablecloth and that side window,
Oh, very
and sketched out the flower, outlined the flowers, but I haven't. That's my next project, to go in and put in the vase and see if I can get that water feeling with the stems showing through,
mm.
and do the flowers, some interpretation of that. Yeah.
Oh, this will be fun. And I like these
Yeah.
little subtle shadows in the background. Really
Well,
nice.
yeah, yeah. No, just the picture caught my eye, so I'll have fun with this one.
Oh, good. Well, this will be
No,
your re-entry into the art center again, painting.
exactly. That's the looking out my living room window. My son-in-law
Uh,
sent that to me a couple of days ago.
mm,
So
wow.
it really is unbelievable when you look at the different colors and how bright they are.
What a view.
Yeah. No, I lived up there, of course, for a number of falls, and it's spectacular. It's
Mm,
you know why people travel to see it, but the whole hills, and I
mm.
just reds and yellows, bright, bright, bright. You just knocked your eye out. It's just,
Yes, it's
yeah, yeah.
fantastic. Oh, you're so what blessed to have such a beautiful view to look out on, especially since March when you went up, like all
Right,
different
right,
seasons.
exactly. With the snow. in, in the snow.
What we
So
were seeing here, so that's all right. Uh,
right.
Thank you, Mary Lou, for sharing all of those beautiful paintings. I mean, you're truly an integral member of the painting community and the Art Center. I just wondered if you had any final thoughts you'd like to share.
Um, no, but except to please join the group. It's fun and relaxing, and it's just so enjoyable. It's a big part of why Vincent Hall is terrific. So
Aw.
yeah,
I think, yeah, it's a great group. I enjoy, and you're
yeah.
definitely one of our prime members. Everybody's missed you, so we're glad you're back.
I'm back. You're right. I have to get to work.
Oh, that's right.
Right,
Got more paintings to do. So,
right, right,
aw.
right,
So maybe you can use those dogs you mentioned in a new painting at some point. That would be fun.
right. That'd be interesting.
Oh, you got the cat, do the dogs.
Right,
Oh
right.
gosh.
So,
Thank you.
oh,
Thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much. Thank you, Mary Lou, for agreeing to be this week's featured artist. I've had a great time looking at your work again and hearing about what inspired you to try some of the different techniques that you've used. I also hope you get to do some of those dog paintings that we talked about as far as using inspiration from your family's visit over the last 6 months in Vermont. I hope everyone at Vincent Hall gets a chance to come down to the Art Center and see Mary Lou working in progress. That's the Wednesday morning painting class. And enjoy the slideshow that follows with a few additions, including those famous 4 dogs that she was talking about. Till next week, stay safe and be well, Vincent Hall, and we'll be back with another featured artist.